Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are doing something a little bit different today. I'm actually revisiting my very first tournament, the Boulder Cup, and I wanted to see the mistakes that I made. I wanted to see everything that I did, the Pokemon I used, and I thought it would be fun for you guys to watch it because some of you, maybe you never saw the original Boulder Cup. So first glance, I didn't speed things up in this video, so I don't know when I started speeding up the videos. Another thing to note is that, do you guys remember I could not hit the 3 rings at all? I mean, occasionally I got them. I don't remember how it was for the Boulder Cup, so we're going to learn. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So right now I do have my Medicham, I have Ice Punch, and you also have to keep in mind Power Up Punch did not exist back then. So obviously I do not have Power Up Punch. Another thing to note is that you are actually allowed to use more than one of the same species. I think you are allowed maximum 2. But I did not know that, so I guess I didn't pay attention. I assumed you could only use one, so I was only using like one Skarmory. But if I had realized that, I would have used 2. But again, hitting 2 rings, just not able to really get the 3 rings. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it was my phone or whatnot. But either way, we're able to knock out that Gligar, or I think we do. Yeah, we knock it out, so that's good. So he's gonna send in a Breloom, and our Medicham is going to collapse. So we have a Hitmonchan and a Skarmory in the back. Gonna go ahead and send out that Skarmory. Definitely favorable for us. We're doing, what is that, double weak to Skarmory, so that's pretty good for us. We are out of shields, maybe burning them a little bit too early. That Dynamic Punch does a lot to us. But we will go ahead and feint his Breloom, and he's going to send out Tyranitar, so Tyranitar will eat us up. And I'm going to bring in my Hitmonchan, and this is definitely favorable for me. We just basically just knock him out with counter. So we do go ahead and win that one. And as you could see, as you guys know, I did win the original Boulder Cup, but very good game. Very good game. If you guys like seeing things like this, definitely let me know, and I'll do it more so. Maybe, I'll do other videos of like the Twilight, the Tempest, whatever it happens to be, right? You can see me looking at his team. I didn't even edit that out. So I guess that's his team. So we're going to go ahead. So yeah, if you'd like me to go back and revisit some of these videos, definitely let me know. I thought it was a good idea to do it for the original Boulder Cup, and I'll definitely do it maybe for all of my tournaments and see how we improve. That's my team. Again, didn't edit any of this out. My biggest concern at the time, I remember, being Skarmory, to be honest with you, because Skarmory was such a monster. So I had my Melmetal, that's why I had Melmetal on my team, and my Skarmory only had one move, actually, and I think another Pokemon of mine only had one move. We'll find out. So he has his Metagross, and I have my Hitmonchan. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens. I don't even remember what happens. I know I win it, obviously, because I win the tournament. I just don't remember what happens. So I have Fire Punch and Ice Punch on my Hitmonchan. As I said, no Power Up Punch. So we're going to go ahead and go for that Fire Punch. It looks like we might have actually gotten the 3 rings there. I don't know. But he will shield. Totally fine. Totally fine. Let's see what I do. I'm going to go ahead and let this Meteor Mash go off. It does knock out my Medicham. And, not Medicham, excuse me. It knocks out my Hitmonchan. So I'm going to bring in my Medicham. Now, I actually have Psycho Cut on this Medicham. I do not have Counter, because I wanted to hit opposing fighting types for super effective damage. So that's why I went with Psycho Cut. But that's why I went with it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shield up this Meteor Mash, seeing as how much it did to my Hitmonchan. So I'm just charging up. This Metagross is actually giving me problems, so I'm going to go ahead, charge up, and go for a Dynamic Punch. Try to get those 3 rings. Again, only getting 2. That's okay. We don't have to worry about rings anymore. But guys, who remembers that? Who was around before I was able... If you guys were not around... Maybe you guys joined up later on or whatever, right? I used to, when we had the 3 rings, I had so much trouble hitting the 3 rings. I don't know why. I don't know if it was my phone. I don't know if it was me. I couldn't hit those 3 rings to save my life. But either way, it looked like we were in trouble. But now we see the Gligar actually able to get off that Ice Punch against Gligar. So hitting the 3 rings there. So I guess occasionally I did hit it. But so he's going to go ahead and feint me down. That's totally fine. And then I will bring in my Skarmory. And we're just looking pretty good. I mean, I don't know what this Gligar can do to me. Again, you can see I only have one move on my Skarmory. I am going to go ahead and shield. Again, I could take it, I believe. It is, yeah, definitely. I could definitely take an Aerial Ace, but might as well shield. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack and just finish off this Gligar and take the game. But that was a very good game. Yeah, very good game. So we do go ahead and win. That was round 3. I did lose the footage for round 1 and round 2, unfortunately. So we do go ahead and win round 3. So at this point in the Boulder Cup, we are undefeated. So I am going to go ahead and jump into my final opponent, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at his team. It's going to be that Poliwrath, Flygon, Medicham, Magnemite. Yeah, you saw what he had. So we're going to go ahead and see what we can do. I don't know why I didn't edit this out, guys. Now I edit this out, I don't even think about it, like when I'm switching and deciding what Pokemon to bring. But back then I didn't. And so we're going up against Ondon. Now, he's actually the owner of our Discord. So shout out to him, man. Really appreciate all the work that you do. And he used to run the PvP, but he stopped in like Tempest, and now my brother and Jokes runs it, or like creates the tournaments, or when we have them, they decide it all. So that, like, I guess I don't know if I don't want to call them managers, but I don't know what they call them. But they're in charge of like the PvP community, and they set all the tournaments and everything. So that's great. So I don't know why he doesn't play anymore. He did say he's coming to our Timeless Cup this Saturday, so maybe we'll see. But yeah, he has this Wish Cash out. I did not even go with Wish Cash on my team. I'm just charging up with my Skarmory. And at this point, I beat everyone 2-0, my first, second, and third opponent. So let's see if we could sweep the whole tournament. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. So again, having so much trouble. I actually think I reached the 3 rings there, but either way, it's okay. So we do go ahead and do a decent amount of damage to that Wish Cash. I think I'm trying to fake him down at this point. Let's see what happens. I am going to go ahead and shield this. It is going to be a Water Pulse, so could have knocked me out. Maybe it would have. I don't know. He brings in Flygon. I'm going to go ahead and go for Sky Attack. So also keep in mind there's no Swampert, right? So there's no other Pokemon that we use nowadays. But so we're trying to do as much damage as possible. I am out of shields. So he's going to hit me with a Dragon Claw and knock out my Skarmory. So now I have my Medicham as well as my Hitmonchan in the back. I bought both of those, I don't think I bought them every single game in this tournament, but I remember bringing them a lot. So I do have that Psycho Boost, or not Psycho Boost, Psycho Cut, excuse me. And he is going to go ahead and hit us with Dragon Claw. That's totally fine. We hit him with an Ice Punch, and he pulls a fantastic switch into Skarmory. So really, really well played. I didn't even, honestly, back then, like, I count fast moves most of the time now, but back then I didn't count. I don't think counting was a thing, and if it was, I certainly didn't. I don't think he was counting either. I just think that was a lucky switch. I could be wrong, but yeah, I certainly wasn't counting. So he does go ahead and knock out my Medicham. Not looking good for me. I do bring in my Hitmonchan, trying to feint him down. He does have Sky Attack ready to go, so he's going to go ahead and use it against me, and that almost knocks me out. He's just going to finish me and take game 1. So we do not go ahead and sweep everybody. He does beat me 1 game. Now, obviously, since I won the tournament, you know that I'm going to beat him the next 2. Totally fine, but he does go ahead and beat me the first game. So let's go ahead and see. Even back then, I was nicknaming all my Pokemon, nicknaming them Boulder Cup. Now I nickname them like Timeless Fusion, Mira, I don't name them like Mira Cup anymore. I name it Mira, so just a little backstory. Yeah, so I know there was one person in the tournament. I remember that there was one person that had 2 Skarmory, but I think everybody else used only 1 of each Pokemon. So maybe, yeah, I guess other people maybe didn't realize that you could use more than 1 either, or just didn't want to. I don't really know. But so we're jumping into game 2. I do have my Swampert. He does have his Wish Cash. So I said there was no Swampert. Excuse me. Swampert is actually eligible. It just doesn't have Hydro Cannon. So Swampert did exist back then. Just no Hydro Cannon. And this is another Pokemon I only have 1 move on. I should have bought a second move, but I did since. Obviously I have a better Swampert now. But we're going for the Surf against his Wish Cash. He is going to go ahead and go for the Water Pulse against my Swampert. So we could take it. Honestly, back then, I think Marsh Tomb was probably better, and most people, I was the only Swampert user in the tournament. Most people, I think, had a Marsh Tomb. And back then, I mean, obviously Hydro Cannon now, Swampert is better, but back then Marsh Tomb was just bulkier, right? So it was probably definitely the better way to go, but, I was going with my Swampert. So I do go ahead and get off that Surf, pressing as hard as I can to get those 3 rings. We don't knock it out. Trying to feint them down. Can we do it? We actually do go ahead and feint him down, not having to use Surf before he gets to a charge move. So it's really good for us. Then we're able to just fire off a Surf against them. Actually only getting 1 ring that time. So that's terrible for us. But that's okay. So our Swampert is going to feint. We do have that Melmetal, so definitely good for us. That's why I brought Melmetal with me. So just charging up. Again, only 1 move on Melmetal. So I think there was like 3 Pokemon I only had 1 move on. So we are going to go ahead and take this attack. It is going to be a Sky Attack. Flash Cannon does a decent amount of damage to a Melmetal. We are going to get off a Thunderbolt. And obviously this is going to... Well, it's going to take a shield, but it's going to do a decent amount of damage. He's going to go ahead and pull the switch into Flygon. I do switch out as well. Slow on the switch, but I think that was standard back then, well, at least for me. Anyway, I have my Skarmory against his Flygon. We are going to be hit with that Dragon Claw. We can definitely take it. Don't have to worry about it. I am going to go ahead and go for my Sky Attack. I also don't think I charged up extra energy because at the time PvP was still relatively new, wasn't it? So I think at the time I didn't know that you could store up extra energy. Maybe I did. Maybe I did by the time the Boulder Cup came around, but earlier on, I didn't realize you could store up extra energy. So maybe I did by this point, but early on, I don't think I did because again, PvP was still new. But anyway, it's a Skarmory mirror match, and he is going to go ahead and get off a charge move. I do decide to get my shield going, so we do block that one. And now we are going to try and get to a Sky Attack. We do get to it, and we actually click on it. We get to it, which is definitely going to be able to feint the opposing Skarmory. So we do go ahead and knock out that Skarmory, and we take that game. So very good game. Very good game. I know it's almost a year ago. What was it, January, when we had the Boulder Cup? So it was almost a year ago. But good game nonetheless. So I am going to go ahead and look at my team and decide what I want to go with. I mean, obviously the team worked for me that I went with, so maybe I'll go with the same team. Maybe I won't. We'll find out. Let's see. Do I lock in with this team or do I not lock in with it? We are about to find out. So I'm going to the Boulder Cup again. Let's find out which Pokemon do I go with. I remember thinking a lot because I was like, well, if I win this one, my ranking is definitely going to go up because this is the very first tournament. So, I definitely want to do well, right? So we do go ahead and lock in. So let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and lead with that Swampert, and he does lead with his Whiscash. Totally fine, totally fine. I am just going to try and get to Surf. It takes the same amount to get to Surf as it does Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is just so much better. But again, we had no Hydro Cannon, right? So I went with Swampert with Surf. Only 1 move. So he's going to go ahead and actually pull that switch into Skarmory. Very interesting switch. That does allow me to get off another Surf. Now, I don't know if there was an invisible box where you could switch at this time. If there was, we didn't know anything about it. There might have been. I have no idea. But obviously I wasn't switching during attack animations or anything because I had no idea about it, even if it did exist. So we do go for the Thunderbolt. He will shield that up, obviously, if he wants to stay alive. Now, I do have to keep in mind that he might have Flash Cannon on his Skarmory, but I do not shield, and he does hit me with a Flash Cannon. So doing a decent amount of damage, but, we were still able to take it, and I do go for the Thunderbolt. So this Thunderbolt will be met with a shield. So he does go ahead and use both shields on his Skarmory. So really good for us. Really good for us. He does get over a charge move. I do decide to shield it because I want to be able to knock out this Skarmory with Thunderbolt. So we shield that Sky Attack, and then we do get off a Thunderbolt, and this is going to be able to knock out that Skarmory. So a huge threat. Skarmory is always a threat. We do go ahead and knock it out. And then Flygon comes in. Another thing to keep in mind is Jokes was not playing in this tournament at all. He decided to play in the following tournament, the Twilight Cup. He just, for some reason, I don't know why he didn't play, and he didn't really know how Sylph worked. But afterwards, he got into it. After he was at the tournament watching, he just wasn't playing in it. But afterwards, he got into it. So I'm really glad he got into it. Definitely some tough competition. But Earthquake comes out. We're able to tank it. We resist it, although it still does a lot of damage. I am going to go ahead and go for my Sky Attack right now to try and knock out his Flygon. It does knock it out. Very squishy Pokemon. And now his Whiscash comes in. I am going to go ahead and throw up that shield. It is going to be a Water Pulse. Don't want to take a Water Pulse. And basically, this is a good game. I have to try and get to that Sky Attack. We do get to it. One extra fast move, but we're able to get to that Sky Attack. Should be enough to knock out Whiscash. Let's see. No, it is not. No, it is not. So he actually gets off a charge move against me. I thought it was enough, but it was not. It's going to be Water Pulse, and that does knock out Skarmory. However, Swampert comes in and feints down Whiscash, and we win. And that will be it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for checking out my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, check out one of my other videos that you'll probably enjoy.